The purpose of this video is to do a really quick review of complements and substitutes and how the two are kind of interrelated. So we say that good x and good y are complements if when the price of good x increases, the demand for good y decreases. So we have here, let's make a little table. We're going to have a complement. Two goods are complements if when the price of x goes up, the demand for y goes down. Another way to say the same thing, if when the price of good x goes down, decreases, the demand for good y increases. So if the price of good x goes down, the demand for good y goes up. So the way that I remember how this relationship works is that complements start with a C, and that's the same as conflict. So the demand for good y moves in the opposite direction of the price of good x. Now what complements really are is they're two goods that go together, that you have to have together. So one common example is a hot dog and a hot dog bun. If you have a hot dog and all of a sudden hot dogs are really, really expensive, so let's make good x be hot dogs. So we'll have x be hot dogs. So if hot dogs all of a sudden are really, really expensive and y is hot dog buns, so these are buns, then there's going to be less of a demand for hot dog buns because no one's going to be eating hot dogs, so they don't need hot dog buns. The other way around, if hot dogs are really, really cheap, lots of people are going to eat hot dogs, so there's going to be a huge demand for hot dog buns. So that's just a quick example. Now, substitutes work the opposite way. So good x and y are substitutes if when the price of good x decreases, so I'm going to go ahead and make the same kind of table. Substitutes, we have the price of x goes down, then the demand for good y decreases. So this is demand for y, then the demand for y decreases. And another way to say the same thing, if when the price of good x goes up, then the demand for good y goes up. And so the way that I remember this is substitutes starts with an S, and that's the same thing that the word same starts with. So substitutes move in the same direction. If the price of x goes down, the demand for y goes down, and if the price of x goes up, the demand for y goes up. So substitutes are goods that can replace each other, and the really obvious one is hot dogs and hamburgers. So if x is hot dogs and then y is hamburgers, let's think about what would happen if hot dogs are cheaper. So if hot dogs are cheaper and people go to the store and they say, oh, we could buy hot dogs or hamburgers for our barbecue, and hot dogs are super, super cheap, they're going to go ahead and buy hot dogs, and they're not going to buy hamburgers. So that will lower the demand for hamburgers because the price of hot dogs just dropped. Now if hot dogs are super expensive, people are going to say, oh, you know what, we'll just buy hamburgers. And so that will increase the demand for hamburgers. So that's just in a quick nutshell how complements and substitutes work. If you have any more questions, let me know, and I'll see you in the next video.